Did it go over? Oh, is that fast? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna remember how this all works. Hey, everybody, Jeffrey Powers here, and welcome to another episode of Wearable Today. Today, we're going to talk about wearables and predictive behavior of wearables. Can they predict a seizure? Can they predict a stroke? Can they predict a heart attack or anything like that? We're going to talk about that. We're going to show you this thing right here from Misfit. We've got a whole bunch of stuff, including the Swedish company called Tobii, and a whole bunch more. This is episode number 74, System Error, Contact Xbox Customer Support of Wearable Today. Is it kind of sad that I always mess up on the name of the show? What can I do to remember what the name of the, because I can't, it's not This Week in Google Glass anymore. So how do we have like a mnemonic device or something like that, Luke, that we can talk about?
What do you mean? Like
a way that I can remember that it's Wearable Today and not This Week in Google Glass?
Well, we've been doing it we've been calling it Wearable Today for 6 months, 8 months.
I know.
A while, so
crazy.
It just shows you how good of a name This Week in Google Glass is.
Yeah.
But yeah,
stupid Google, stupid. Anyway. My name is Jeffrey Powers. You can find me over at Geekazine, Think Magazine, Put in a Geek, and of course my partner in crime over there, maybe over here, I don't know, Mr. Luke Wallace.
Hey everybody, Luke Wallace here. You can find me on Twitter, Luke Luca, where I'm periscoping as we speak for now. Don't see anybody there. And then here's Birdie. If you're looking for me on Twitter, I'm at Luke Luca. That's LukeLuca. Or you can email me for this show at luke@wearabletoday.com. It's down here at the bottom of the screen if you're watching the video. Or you can email Birdie at birdie@wearabletoday.com. Yeah, I know.
There you go. You know, you're on Periscope, but you're acting like a pirate because you have a bird.
Yep. You know, I think pirate ships could have had periscopes, right?
Well, they had those things.
Oh yeah, eyepiece. I don't know what you call it, like a telescopes.
Telescope. Yeah, that's it. Telescope.
But they had a guy way up at the top of the pole.
Oh yeah.
Looking out, so they would kind of look out from higher up through that guy. So it was kind of a low-tech periscope.
Was he the periscope or?
I think they called him the periscoper. That sounds right.
Okay.
Now he would just use his phone and live stream it, and they would just get in the stream down below.
What do you sing? Periscoper. Never mind. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get into big news, little arm.
So, can a Swedish startup succeed where Google Glass failed?
You almost said Swedish chef.
Can a Swedish chef startup succeed where Google Glass failed? Probably not. But could this other Swedish startup? Man, that's hard to say. It must have been easy to write. But
no, you gotta. No. Let me read it. He goes, "Thirsty bird, goes to birdie, birdie here, the bark, bark, this your birdie, here, birdie, 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 bark, bark."
Yeah. So anyway, let me translate for those of you who don't speak Swedish chef. There's a company named Tobii that is working on eye tracking software that allows you to type, select items, and more. The highlight of the story is John Elvestio, who suffered a broken neck and now uses the software to help with everyday life. They talk about in this CNN article how that they could use this technology to do market research, track where people are looking as they look at different displays, to figure out what are the products that are working and which ones aren't. Unfortunately, the device does retail for $15,000 instead of the Google Glass 1500, but there are even more expensive versions of this. So on the whole, it's actually a pretty good deal. So you can check that out if you want to read more. You can check out the full story over at CNN.com.
All right. Are you looking for a wearable to change your mind and your body? Let's do it. We'll put our hands together and go, Om. Well, this is called Think, Thync, or maybe it's Thigh, New York, or North Carolina. I don't know. It's Think, and it's a $299 device that'll help you do that, wrapped around your forehead, behind your ear, and it'll do more than just track into your steps. Think is a San Francisco-based company that wants to help you alleviate pain and improve your brain functionality. Using stimulants to do this, stimulants from the device, of course. It's a useful tool, or is it just another late night infomercial promising things it can't deliver? If you want to read more on that, go over to thedispatch.com.
Up next, there's something you really have to see. It's an infographic that uses the periodic table of the elements for wearable technology. So the idea is that is to categorize all the different types of wearables. So in this case, CW means conditional workflow, whereas AE is aerospace. So thus far, they have 103 elements to the periodic table of wearable technology, and you can bet that they're going to work on adding more. So you can check out the entire periodic table over at TechCrunch.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready. It's my fault. There we go. There we go. There we go. Finally, where are we? Here I am. Finally. Live streaming is all the rage, but would you want to live stream with a better camera than the one on your phone? The UK carrier EE is now offering the 4G EE, or 4G action cam. I like to say it that way. It's 4G action cam, because if you're going across, whatever, it's T. Anyway, the 4G action cam lets you live stream using a dedicated plan. Camera has a 3-hour battery life and comes with a waterproof case, helmet, chest, and bike mounting equipment. Plans start at £10 a month. That's a pretty heavy camera, if you ask me. Oh, £10 a month. That's about almost $2 a month. £99 purchase price. Is it £10 a month with a £99 purchase price? Is that right?
Yeah, so it's like a phone where they subsidize the price if you sign up for a plan.
Okay, so which is about $180 US plus another $19.99 per month. I believe, if I did the math right. Now it's only available in the UK, and streaming is on Skeagle, but if it's popular, it could expand and other markets and video streaming services. And you can read more on that on wearable.com. That's wearable.com in their headgear section. There is, by the way, a company in HTC is putting out a camera that you can actually get on the Verizon network, just so you know, if you're in the United States. So, all right, let's move on. Let's go over to our one of our segments, and that is called Fund Me. And let me get over to the right page here. Yeah, there we go. And things work perfect. It's awesome. So, check this out. Your headphones that want to get into the wearable game. Qi is a headset that combines your heart rate, your monitor, your pedometer, and the ability to coach you on your goals. Touting the first multi-sport biometric headphones, Qi might be the perfect item for your runners, you swimmers, and you cyclists, because it just, you don't need to have your phone nearby. It's a waterproof device, fits in your ears. I should have scrolled down a little bit on Qi. I believe that's how you pronounce it, Quai. Maybe there is a bridge that runs over the river Kwai, but here's a little bit more on the device here. This is what the headphones look like. So they look like, technically, they actually look like an older pair of Bluetooth headsets. Mm-hmm. But these things have a lot of biometrics in them, and pretty impressive, don't you think, Luke? Yeah,
absolutely. This is seems like a really good sport wearable. I know there's a lot of different ones in that field. That's it's an area a lot of people are trying to get into, because that's a market where people do want to train as much as they can, have as much data as they can to track how they're running, track the performance, figure out are they getting better, are they getting better fast enough in the right areas, and all that kind of stuff. So really interesting that it's I guess, and they say it's headphones, so it plays music too, right? I mean, that's the idea, is that this is one device instead of having to have your iPod
Yeah.
and your phone and your Fitbit and whatever. It's like, hey, you can just put on these kind of fancy headphones that do a lot of that stuff for you. And I'm sure it's
Yeah.
compatible with whatever
Well,
Apple's Health Kit and Google Fit and all that stuff too. So
yeah. Well, it is. It's waterproof up to 3 meters. It's got 8 gigabytes of memory internal, so probably an hour's worth of music, which is all you really need. But there is compatibility Bluetooth, so you should, if you had your phone close by, I bet you it could just grab stuff from there. It can do a lot of different tracking, your speed, your calorie intake. I think it's got a compass in there. I'm not 100% sure on that one. And it also does inline coaching, so it sends stuff to the app, and the app turns around and tells you, hey, you did better or worse than you did yesterday. You might want to check this out, or your strokes were a little bit weird. Maybe you missed on your rhythm or something like that if you're a swimmer. I'm trying to think of things that, because I'm the ultimate athlete. But yeah, so it looks pretty good. Right now they have $54,000, 392 backers of a $61,000 goal, which is pretty amazing. There's 23 days left to go,
yeah,
so I'm pretty impressed with this because just the fact that this is where it's going, and they're thinking a little bit out of the box. No watch, no pedometer type thing, and it's actually got its use in having headsets. So you could have your motivational music. You could have what I would do if I was a swimmer or runner is I'd probably have a metronome that would push my pace, and I'd be listening to that metronome or songs in that metronome.
songs that at that same beat, whatever
Yeah.
it is, the beat that you're trying to match and stuff. Like, now that would be really cool if it could somehow tie into that too, and customize the program so as it's coaching you, it's also giving you, like, here's a song that
Yeah.
has the right beat to it, that here's how you should be performing and stuff. I think that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, and then when the one song is, and then you want to get a different beat, you can turn the beat around
Oh yeah, yeah.
because you gotta love percussion.
Would make sense.
Yeah, pretty much so. But this is pretty cool. I'm gonna take a look at it. Well, I'm taking a look at it right now. Hello. Backing starts at about. This is UK, another UK campaign. So there is probably some conversion there, about $2 USD for the beginning, and I think the first one, I'm having a hard time seeing that. It's so far away now. My monitors are so far away. Let me zoom in like that. What do we got? It's like I think it's 122 for the first one. Do you see that the price for the first one?
Let's see.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
they've actually got 122. It looks like for the first one.
And that's not too bad. I mean, most wearables like that, I would have expected like a $300 or more price
Yeah.
tag on it.
Yeah, I mean, they did have 200 that they sold for only about $100, and so like that was a really good deal. But they still have some left at the 122, and quite a few left at the 133, which I guess gets you. I guess that you can just be a higher supporter. I guess I'm not really sure why people have
Well, it
gone
looks
with
like
the.
actually it looks like if you go for the 800-pound version or the $1,200, $1,300 version, you can get you'll get time with Coach Cowie Backer. I think that's how you pronounce that. Oh, so that's his name, Quay
Oh,
Backer. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. We read this stuff, we look at this stuff, we really do. It's just every now and then something just kind of throws us off track. So, but basically, this is just amazing. I like it. It might be a little bit bulky, but in this picture right here, where he's got the swim cap on, it's now fitting and probably going to hold in his while he's swimming
oh yeah.
back and forth and running. Of course, if you're running, it's going to stay in place. Those older Bluetooth headsets were almost couldn't come out of your ear. They were so good. So, but anyway, that's what it is. You can check it all out. It's over at the UK Kickstarter. Of course, we'll have the link, the show notes, all over there. You can check that out over from there. All right, let's move on to our next segment. It is called the Apple Watch Watch. Nice. Nice.
Or
Nice. Oh,
yeah,
time's up. Anyway,
there you go.
good. You're in charge of the sound effects now. So,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
uh,
on the soundboard.
a wearable getting its own wearable. That's what Power Beats 2 is all about. It's set of earphones that pairs with the Apple Watch, so you can leave your iPhone at home when it's too bulky to carry. But then again, who the heck leaves their iPhone at home? I don't know. But anyway, and okay, I do have the iPhone 6, but I don't have the 6 Plus because I thought it was a little bit too big. So I would probably take this with me if I was running or whatnot. But yeah, I suppose the 6 Plus would get a little bit too difficult to find a pocket for and comfortably run. But once again, I'm the penultimate runner here. So,
Yeah.
but basically, I guess this is also, if you're working out, you can keep this in the locker, and then you have your watch and your headset with there. But just the idea of how it daisy chains to the iPhone. You can pair it to the iPhone, or you can pair it to the watch, which pairs to the iPhone using Bluetooth 4. That's pretty amazing, and I didn't even think about that until it just came up. It's like, oh yeah, oh that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very neat. It looks like that these would work with any Bluetooth 4 device, so these may actually also work with Android Wear devices.
Yeah,
So Android Wear devices have that same kind of idea of you can pair Bluetooth headsets with some Android Wear devices and listen to music that's stored on your Android Wear. It sounds like these are a little different in that they actually store the music inside the Power Beats 2 headphones.
yeah.
That's kind of interesting. I wonder how that works as far as transfer goes, or like how do you load them up with that music? But
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get a set of headphones and find out. And well, or of course, maybe we'll ask one of our Apple Watch fanboys, because you or I do not have an Apple Watch,
I do not know.
and I don't have any plans to get one just yet. And there's reasons why, and I think that's because of this next article right here. Oops, I don't have that next article up. It's over on Forbes. Let me pull it up really quick. Hold on a second. It's over at Forbes, and basically what it is the reality that a lot of people don't like the fact. Continue to cite. There we go. Don't like the fact that that it's not working the way that they expect it. Now, here we go. There we go. Now, basically, this basically shows what we expect, and that is more out of Apple when they put out a device. Many people are giving a non-favorable review to the new wearable. I see them all the time. My week with Google Watch. My friend, one of my friends, and I'm forgetting his name, over at MacBreak, or not MacBreak, but one of the Mac guys, Dave. Oh man, brain fart. Anyway, he's trying to live without Apple Watch for a whole week. So pretty interesting stuff, and he's got some other wearables. But they did some research from a firm called User Testing, and they found that 38% would stay true to the fanboy status and recommend the device. Only 38%. That means that the rest, which was not 38%, was that 62%? There we go.
62%, yeah.
62%. I'm good at math, and I'm good at my memory. I think I'm getting Alzheimer's. Where are we again? Who are you?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, yeah.
38%, 62% would not recommend, and it's something like 25% are completely on the fence,
Yeah,
and then the rest of them.
No, it's a 27% said like don't get it, and
Yeah.
then there was 35% that were just very passive. They were like, take it, leave it. It really doesn't.
Yeah,
it's
wait and
it's not
see
definitely
type
worth
situation.
getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Which is kind of surprising because this article makes a lot of comparisons to the iPhone, and they're like, well, the iPhone didn't have any apps when it came out, which is true. It had just the 6 or 7 Apple created apps on it.
agreed.
But then, they're saying that that's what it's like, but I don't think that that's fair because they had all these apps at launch, which is much closer to what the iPad was, where
Yeah.
they had the iPad, they told people it was coming, they worked with developers, and on day one of the iPad launch, there were all these apps, and people said, wow, this is amazing. These have all these apps, and they weren't the greatest iPad apps because developers didn't have very much time to work on those apps, so
Exactly.
they got out what they could. And everyone really loved it and said, "Wow, this is great! I can do so much more with this." It fits in. It fits in this niche that I didn't even realize I had. Where I wish I had something that was bigger. More like a kind of a netbook. Kind of usability and stuff. And so the watch, I think, is closer to that as far as the ecosystem was there on day one. Like it didn't launch without any apps. It actually had quite a few available. But yeah, it's not seeing nearly the love that the iPad saw 2 or 3 weeks, or how many, like we're a couple of months in.
The iPad didn't have as much love as it didn't have that much love. I mean, the iPhone definitely, it was a lot of the fanboys bought it, that's for sure. The iPad, they did buy it, but the reality was they were complaining about it all the time. I think a lot of people were waiting for the Apple Watch to get the front-facing camera.
Oh, they want to do video chat on there?
They want to do video chat or something like
that.
Also the Watch OS 2, which is coming out, and all the features on it. As a podcaster, I reported on my podcast channels and my podcast community that Apple will now basically, with the speaker and the ability to Bluetooth, because the first generation, the watch would not Bluetooth from the phone to the watch. You had to, it's kind of like a packet type situation, and it had to be small bits. But now you could take songs and push it. Once the new Watch OS comes out, you'll be able to push it right to the watch. It turns the watch into a mini Bluetooth speaker, and a lot of people are liking that. And the podcasting channels are thinking, oh, this is great. Now people can listen to podcasts on the watch, which I'm thinking to myself, no, that's a headphone thing.
Yeah,
when you listen to podcasts, you listen on your headphone, and I don't want to listen to it on a watch. That just doesn't make any sense to me. So, but some people will do it. Some people will do it because they have that ability. But that functionality, of course, the more functionality with the crown, the more functionality in the user interface that's coming up, I think that'll kind of make everybody a little bit more happy. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good point that this survey was probably done before WatchOS 2 was out, and so a lot of the issues that they're talking about are like kind of poor performance and the apps aren't quite as good as the Apple built apps. A lot of that stuff will get remedied as developers adopt those features from WatchOS 2, where they can take advantage of, like you said, the speaker and the crown and some of that other stuff. And so I think it'll get better over time, but this first impression, those always go a long way. So, if only 40% of the people who have an Apple product really like it and are telling their friends, yes, this is awesome, you got to go get one, like that's that seems like a low number to me. Like that, I don't want to say it is, but it seems like a low number. It seems like usually people that have Apple devices are like, oh yes, you got to get this thing. Like yes, like if you don't have it, you're going to fall behind. Like this, so much better than everything else that's out there. Like that's kind of typical. So, and these are people that had the Apple Watch. So like these are people that already kind of bought into the hype enough to, spend the $400 on a watch, on an Apple Watch. So, if those people are not even that excited about it, like that, to me, that's not a great sign. I think it'll get better, and I think people will, as they understand it more, will accept it more. But like, it's a little concerning, honestly.
Yeah. One more thing, just so you know, the research firm, I don't remember the number, and it said it in the article. It really, the people that they polled, the number was pretty low. I think it was only a couple hundred people.
52.
Oh, okay, it wasn't even 100 people.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, why are we talking about this then?
Apparently,
let's get a better. Everybody that watches this show, which is millions and millions and millions of people that watch this show. Yeah, right. Go on. Let us know. What do you think? Would you recommend Apple Watch? Two questions. Before Watch OS 2, and now that you know that the features are coming out with Watch OS 2, would you recommend the Apple Watch to somebody? Let us know. Jeff at wearabletoday.com, Luke at wearabletoday.com, Bertie at wearabletoday.com.
Or on Twitter. You can just hit, these are just answers that you could fit on a tweet.
A tweet?
Yeah.
A tweet?
Geekazine and Luke Luca. Hashtag Wearable Today. And get us going there.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And check it all out and go from there. So yeah, we're going to move on from here, but just, I don't have anything else to say. All right, let's move on.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right, let's and of course that is big news, little arms. And I got to do that because Luke has to. It's now in his contract. I got to roar twice in an episode.
Well, and you got Jurassic World just came out, so
oh yeah,
I haven't seen it yet, but you saw it, didn't you, Jeff?
I saw it, and okay, I love the fact that they put.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers. No spoilers. I love yeah, this is technically a spoiler, but not really. It's not a spoiler towards the end of the movie. But at the beginning of the movie, they base the family and the two boys in Madison, Wisconsin. From where I'm from, which is great. Yeah. And the first and Jennifer and I are watching, and he goes, and they were doing some banter back and forth, and the kid goes, "Well, the Dane County Airport's only 30 minutes away," and we look at each other and go, "Oh." And so, yeah, Judy Greer and her family are based in Madison, Wisconsin, which is great. However, whoever researched it decided not to. I don't know what they were thinking. In fact, all the Wisconsin parts were filmed in New Orleans, from what I read. So they put fake snow on the ground for the first part, and then they put them in the airport. And I'm looking at the airport, and it's like, the Dane County Region Airport does not have gates A, B, and C. Yeah. It's a 1 to 12 numbered system. You go to terminal 1 to 12. That's it. There's no gates. There's nothing else. And then there was one other scene where Judy Greer's at work, and they're showing all these skyscrapers in the background. Mm-hmm. If you've ever lived in Madison, which about 500,000 people would relate to this. 500,000 people at least in the world, and it's a conservative number. They're not going to see skyscrapers in the background of any building. If they're a good law firm, they're downtown, and you're seeing the state capitol. Now, if somebody would have done some research, we would have all been satisfied. We would have been happy. Would have been like, sweet, Madison, Wisconsin. But now it's just like, yeah, well, okay, yeah, they did Madison, Wisconsin. That's cool.
They said Madison, Wisconsin, but it doesn't look like they could have changed the name to some other city, and it might have been more accurate, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, well, like I said, he said Dane County, and then there was the scene where she called, I can't remember the main actress's name, and the phone said Madison. So at first we were thinking 30 minutes away. It wasn't in Madison. They were living in Johnson Creek or something like that. Mm-hmm. But then when it said Madison, it's like, okay, well, that makes sense. Maybe the West Side or something like that. But anyway.
So you need to give the true Madison Jurassic World tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be like saying that you're at a Dallas in a movie. You're at a Dallas Mavericks game, and they have the Charlotte Hornets playing. And the Charlotte Hornets
or they show an arena that's like clearly not the right arena or something.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like, well, why don't you just use the real one or something? Like, why say it's there if you're not actually going to use the, like, why say it's Madison if it's actually New Orleans? Like, what's the difference? Like, why not just say it's New Orleans? And
they had to have snow on the ground apparently or something.
It's like that. Yeah, that is kind of funny.
Overall,
turns out movies aren't true, I guess.
Yeah,
that's the most untrue part of that movie is the fact that the airport is not like that at all. You're like, really, that's the problem. Like, that's the part that is not realistic enough for you. I got you.
Yeah. Well, there were parts. I'm like I said, I'm not going into spoilers. I highly recommend. I always say either theater or rental or TV. This was definitely a theater thing, not a 3D thing by any means. But the kids might like the 3D stuff. So we don't normally watch 3D, but I'd recommend go see it in the theater. It's worth it.
Oh, I will.
All right. So what'd you do this week?
Not a whole lot. been working on the studio. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
The new studio, taking care of things around there.
Cool.
Yeah, we did a wrap up for Google I/O last week. That was kind of a big deal. Where
what does that mean? Is that like a hangout or something like that?
Well, we did actually an event in our office, and we're doing one this week for DubDub. So all the information out of WWDC, we're hosting that at our offices. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you could check BottleRocketStudios.com. It's tomorrow as we're filming this, so there's not a lot of time left. But if you're watching and you're in DFW, you're definitely welcome to come out. We're having a nice open event to the entire community. So
I'll come fly down. Yeah. How's that? I'll come fly down.
Yeah, you definitely could. You'd be perfectly welcome to, but I don't know if it'd really be worth the trip for you.
Okay.
So
fine. I don't think it'll be worth the trip for you.
Well, it's like you're going to spend a lot of money on that. You're going to spend a lot of money trying to get down to Dallas really quick. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, all right. Well, hey, I'm hearing something in the background. Is that you?
I think that is. I don't. Well, it's not me, but I think there's music. I can go try to. Let me go.
Nah,
don't
worry about that.
The next section.
No. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You can't hear much, as long as copyright music doesn't bleed through enough to shut us down. We're all good. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we got. If you are, whoops, wrong one. That's the wrong overlay. If you are looking to get yourself a wearable, and you're thinking to yourself, well, what should I get? Should I get a Moto 360? Should I get one of these Misfits or whatnot? And you're saying, well, I don't have that much. I don't have $400 to spend on a wearable. Well, you check it out over at wearabletoday.com/deals. That takes you to an Amazon page, and basically it tells you all the deals on wearable technology. I just ordered the Dubs earphones. These are earplugs that are supposed to be wearable technology, and I can't wait for them to show up. I want to test them out. A couple weeks we'll probably talk about them when I can get into a concert and really use them and see how they're going to filter. But they have a lot of cool wearable technology at decent prices. These are refurbished. These are return items, so they might have a small scratch on them, or they might be missing something. So just when you go through the page, look for the deal. And like I said, there's a Moto 360 I've been really eyeing. It's like $136. And what do you think, Luke? Should I get the Moto 360?
It's pretty nice, but you have an iPhone, right? So
yeah.
I would say that not yet, because they're not yet compatible with Android Wear. So yeah, if they it'll be interesting to see if Android Wear comes to iOS like they're thinking it will, then that'd be a really good deal. Like $130 would be a really good deal.
Then I'd want to get one right now before they go up in price.
Maybe you'd want to wait for the Moto 360 2 that is rumored to be coming out sometime soon. So.
Is that a Moto 362 or a Moto 362?
A Moto 360 second generation.
Okay. All right. So, but anyway, if you need a deal right now, you got an Android phone and wearabletoday.com. A lot of Samsung stuff on there as well. And a couple Microsoft bands, and I know I saw some Jawbone and Fitbit stuff there, so check it out over at wearabletoday.com/deals. And of course, it supports the show, keeps our lights on, keeps our show running, keeps the fans on, and then I can fix that noisy fan that's on the side. You might hear a small buzz on the side. I apologize, by the way, for that. So, all right. Also, if you just want to give us money, hey, we like that. If over at the YouTube page, go over to youtube.com/thisweekinglass. I think we still have the old thing, or just do a search for Wearable Today. You'll find us. And then on the right side, go ahead and hit the donate money to us. $5, $10. Once again, helps us keep the lights on, helps us keep these shows going for you guys, because we want to do these shows and we want to do them right. And then, of course, food for Birdie, right? Birdie gets the food.
Birdie's getting pretty hungry.
Birdie's going
all thin.
I want some food. I'm thin. Arr.
Yeah. No, she gets plenty of food. She's fine. But she eats like a bird.
No.
Oh, I went there.
Yeah, you went there. You went there full throttle, I'd say. Mm-hmm. So. All right. Well, Of course, we like to highlight different types of wearables, and a lot of wearables we've been getting back and forth. Last week we got the what were the 4G? Can't remember what the name was. That you still have them around?
It's the Go 4D. Got
Go
it right
4D,
here
yeah.
still. Right.
Yeah, for the Google Glass and the cardboard. There we go. Look like steampunk glasses. They're awesome.
Yeah.
So, but this week, nice.
Hello?
You look like Red. Was it Red Skeleton from the Avengers? You're his sidekick or something like that? Anyway, this week I'm going to show off this little puppy right here. It's the Misfit Force or Flash. Excuse me. I always say Force. Flash. And basically, what this is a wearable. It's a wearable for your wrist. You can take it off. You can put it on your belt buckle if you want to, or you can put it on your wherever you got to get close to your skin. What are you doing?
Just clicking my little, clicking
your box. Yeah.
40 case closed. So I shouldn't do that right next to the mic.
There you go. So anyway, it's a nice little wearable. It's around $50, and what it does is it basically tracks your steps. It tracks your calories. It does a little sleep cycle and stuff like that. I need to do a full day with it because I'm not 100% sure how it tracks on the steps and its accuracy on this. So I'm going to show you a picture right here, and I'll explain in a second. I want to show you the picture first. And of course, if you're listening to the show, you'll have to go check out the picture over on wearabletoday.com. It gives you you have a 1 to 1,000, and if you hit 1,000 points in a day, you've completed your goal. This picture right here shows that I was at 3,200 with 22,534 steps, 10.4 miles. Now, Luke, can you guess on how I did that?
Was that your drumming?
Okay. Well, I guess I did tell you, didn't I?
I think you said last week that you did some drumming, and
Yes,
it was like
yeah.
it said you walked a lot. Like I forget what it said, but
Yeah. Well, I have a fit bug as well, and it did the same thing. Whenever I played drums, it came back and it said I surpassed the number 2 to 3 times, and I don't doubt it by any means. It takes a lot of physical activity to play the drums. Even though I don't swim or run, I do play the drums. So, but I'm not 100% sure if this number is absolutely correct. So, it's all give and take because my arm's basically waving around like this all the time, and it's not really tracking a step. But it's a pretty cool number. I like it a lot, and that's a picture I like to show. But this is basically what the interface looks like. As you go during the day, like for instance, today I could call it up, and I'll probably be at only 100 or 200 steps as it does the connection. Right now, I'll show you this right now. Right now it says I'm 55 of 1,000 points. Let me zoom in on this.
Ooh, that's quite a ways off.
Now, in all reality, I did not wear my Misfit today for the most of the day. So, and I really didn't do that much physical activity. I woke up and I went right in here, and I had to get a whole bunch of work done because tomorrow I'm going to have a very hectic day. And then I had to do laundry, so I was probably running around with laundry, but that's pretty much it. So days before I'll hit 1,000, other times I'll hit 50 or something like that. So, But have you tried any of the Misfits? I didn't know there's 3 different types of Misfit wearables.
I have not. So not a lot to say there, but interesting. Does it? You have the flash, so it lights up on the front. Is that different there?
So basically, when I'll zoom this in again, and if I press on this button, you'll see there's one, and then of course it'll show different dots here. If at the beginning of the day it'll only show 1 dot, so it'll actually show you the amount of activity that you did.
I see.
So the reason why they're separate, their dots are in different places, is because of the fact that it's actually telling you what hours you did stuff and what hours you didn't do stuff. But and that's pretty cool. So as opposed to some of these other wearables that I've had, I like the fact that I can actually see what I did there, but I still wish there was a freaking watch on here, because I'm wearing it like a watch, and it's like, what time is it? I do it every time,
Yeah,
every time.
because it's in that spot.
Yeah, and I wore a watch for 30 years of my life before I took it off, and it's really funny how your memory just comes back to it. So I
So
don't
it
know.
does say that it has that second indicator is the watch. Um, like it's showing you what time it is with a
Really?
yeah. So like
I thought,
the bright one is the hour, and then the flashing one is the minute as it goes around. So it should be around 8:45. So it would be.
actually, it's saying 7:45 or 7:15. Maybe I don't have the
You don't have it oriented.
maybe I don't have the time set up or something. Maybe I have to
Yeah.
set up the time.
Hmm.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought this was just the hours that I was active. Because
It
at
says that.
one point, it actually just lit up like a Roman candle. So, wow,
I
you
think
taught
the
me something.
first indicator is your activity, and the second one is the time.
Okay.
But
Well, I have a little bit more research to do on it.
yeah,
I'm still not 100% on how it steps through, but it's a
yeah,
pretty good wearable for $50. You can
yeah.
get a good idea of what you're doing.
That's actually a really good price for something
Yeah,
like that.
and then the sleep cycle that also gets confusing because it'll tell you it's like you slept for 14 hours and some odd minutes. It's like what? But you have
I
to,
don't
yeah,
remember that.
it's what it looks like at first. But you scroll down, then it says this is how much light sleep you had, this is how much wake time you had, this is how much deep sleep you had, and that looked a little bit more accurate. It's just a little confusing at first. So all right, so that's the Misfit Flash. Check that out. We'll have the link in the show notes if you want to get yourself one. Of course, wearabletoday.com/deals. If you want to see if you can get one at a discount price over at Amazon. So, all right, let's move on from here. Let's get into our focus of the week. That's not the focus of the week. Let's do that. Where's my mouse? There we are. I still gotta get this all figured out. Okay, here we go. And now I don't have the other page up. Nice. So, Empatica CEO Matteo Lei spoke at the Digital Summit in Dubai. He touted that they have the ability to detect epileptic seizures, similar to a seizure-smelling dog. Imagine getting a phone call alerting you of an event, or maybe some medical personnel all of a sudden just showing up saying, "Hey, we need to get you in the ambulance so we can take care of this." Battery, it's amazing what wearables can do, and this is just seizures. I mean, strokes can be detected. I mean, you know the signs of a stroke. And if you see my face start to droop, or you see me talking like really weird, and you go like this, and I don't think we could kill all those gophers there, and I might be having a stroke. So maybe a wearable can be placed to detect that same type of indicators, to call medical personnel and go from there. Heart attacks, pacemakers. Birdie's in an uproar about this. Pacemakers. You get wearables that you could put into your chest. That, if you have an arrhythmia going on, it could be at least be alerted to a doctor. And if something really starts to go completely extreme, then medical professionals could be at your door before you even start to have your heart attack. And that's what they're going in here, and it's just amazing what we could think of from here. From cancer, could have a wearable that could tell your UV protection and the possibility of cancer and stuff like that. So, what other events could be predicted to save a life for a wearable, such as a heart attack, stroke, or seizure? Luke, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm not a doctor, and I don't even play one on TV, so I can't really
It's a
talk
good
about.
gig if you should.
Yeah, yeah. If you can, it's good work if you can get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that I'm not sure what else you would be able to detect. I mean, we talked before. I think you had the idea of some of this technology, like this fabric technology. What if you wrap that around your arm inside a cast, and we're able to detect things happening there that you
Yeah.
can't see normally? because the cast covers it, that kind of stuff. This is really interesting how they talk about the let's see, what's the term here they use? Electrodermatological, is that something like that?
Okay.
Yeah, electrodermal activity. So the electrical current that runs through your skin, I guess, is the kind of the
Is the determining
simple
factor.
version of that, is kind of what that's referring to. And they can somehow detect seizures or epilepsy and stuff. Like they can detect that you're going to have an issue through that. And to me, that's just amazing if that works with any sort of reliability. Like, it may be where every once in a while it says you're going to have a seizure or you're about to have some sort of epileptic fit, and maybe you don't, but I'd rather get a few false positives and like prepare for one instead of not knowing that it's coming and all of a sudden, someone's having a seizure, and that can just be that can be scary and devastating, and something that could at least alert your family, or let's say you had a child like this, and being able to know that if something happens, you'll know as soon as possible, and you'll be able to either call the school where your child's at, or whatever. Like kind of oh, it says there's something going on, I'm gonna immediately call the babysitter or something. I think knowing that information is just so critical, and I'm sure there's tons of people that would love to have that ability.
Exactly.
So I'm not sure what else, like I said, I'm not really a doctor, but any sort of monitoring like that's very passive, where it's not something that, what they basically said in this article is that they have all these devices. It's not that this is new technology. It's just, it's always been used in hospitals, and it's been ugly and large, and it wasn't something that people could wear at home all the time just in case something happened. It's like, well, we can monitor you in the hospital, then you go home, you're kind of on your own. So now it's getting to a point, at least, where things are cheap enough and small enough that you can. And I would say it's a huge deal, because for even if it's something that you have to rent or pay off over a long period of time because it's expensive or whatever, like for a lot of people it would be worth it just to have that information as soon as possible.
Well, a seizure, and I learned this from watching I think the movie is called My Sister's Keeper or something like that, because Alec Baldwin had this service dog, and everybody was wondering what this dog was for. He always had to follow him around, and at the end of the movie, he left the courtroom, and nobody knew why, because his dog was going off, and then next thing you know, you saw a scene of him lying on the ground in the hallway having a seizure, and that's when we found out, oh, this is a seizure smelling dog. So for something like that, apparently that's something that can be detected through the strong scent of a nose, such as a dog. We're doing a lot of great stuff with biomedical technology and scent detection. Of course, the Charles Michael Yim over at Breathometer, and what he's doing with the ability to detect diabetics if you need to start taking some sort of sugar insulin type situation, or what your blood alcohol level is and stuff like that. Just amazing stuff over there that it just blows us away whenever I see it on Facebook and stuff like that. So I also contacted our friend Jamie Davis, who's been on the show before, and I asked him a little bit about that and what his thoughts are. And he, because he's seen a whole bunch of this stuff, from injury sensing clothing to baseball caps that predict seizures. He says the future of wearable technology and healthcare applications is just getting started. But he also says, as a nurse, he's personally frustrated the healthcare system is not moving faster to adopt this wearable technology for patients in their everyday lives, because even just the smallest change that gets reported to a nurse, they might just turn around and go, well, maybe I need to go visit this person. Maybe I need to find out what's going on and maybe save a life or something like that. So thanks, Jamie. You can check out his show. He's got the nursing show. I'll have a link in the show notes, of course, to his show there with the full quote that he gave us. So
Very cool.
yeah, definitely very cool. So further thoughts on that? I know I've also seen Dr. Michio Kaku talk about how we'll be able to in the future be able to determine through different types of technology, not just wearable technology, but toilet technology, where you pee in the toilet and it's starting to tell you that, hey, you might want to go see a doctor or something like that. So it's always been in the forefront of my mind of where we could go with this type of technology, and very pretty sweet and amazing on there. So
Yeah, yeah,
any other
very very cool.
any other thoughts on this?
No, I think it's a great topic. I know this kind of medical stuff comes up all the time. It's great to see more and more articles about things like that. And yeah, as people understand what predates or kind of what leads into other medical conditions like Alzheimer's, like you were you were kind of making a joke about earlier, but it's like there are things like that of like, what if you had something that kind of tested your memory throughout the day, and it was just a little kind of thing of like, hey, which symbol did I show you an hour ago? And it's like, oh, you showed me the cake. Yeah, that was it. And then all of a sudden it's like, this person has started to fail the tests of, what did I show you in the morning? What did I show you, like about 8 hours, and they're starting to forget things more, and things like that. And
Yeah,
you would kind of wonder, could it detect some of that stuff before it happens and get people treated sooner? Because
exactly.
there are tons of things I hear this all the time where they can detect it. The problem is people don't get tested for something soon enough because they don't expect that they have any, they don't have that problem, so they don't get tested for it, and it's on too long, and then it's even, it's harder to treat because they waited so long, and not,
Yeah,
and even not intentionally, like even accidentally. So imagine if you could just be getting tested, in lots of different ways that weren't intrusive, and then, hey, we noticed that your results are a little off of where they should be, and like, okay, one time is not a big deal, but like, this is now like 2 months in a row you've had some off results. Like, maybe you should actually get a more thorough screening for this thing.
yeah.
Like, it'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. So amazing stuff there. And of course, if anybody out there is in the medical profession that's really working on stuff like that, we definitely would love to hear from you. Jeff at wearabletoday.com, Luke at wearabletoday.com. You can also contact on our Twitter at Geekazine and Luke Luca, and go from there. And we could have you on a future episode and talk a little bit more about healthcare. Because, of course, like Luke said, we're not healthcare professionals. I try to talk to a couple people when we do get episodes like this, just to make sure that I'm staying on the right track here, which I think I am. I think we've got a lot of great stuff coming up when it comes into that. And we even talked about that Think device, which I kind of joked is an infomercial, late night infomercial type situation. But if it works, and it cures, my Alzheimer's or forgetfulness or whatever, stimulates my brain, so I'm, doing some sort of Bradley Cooper type stuff that somebody like Robert De Niro has to come find me. I'm trying to remember the name of that movie, but I can't remember the name of the movie. Anyway, the whole point is that, hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, and it's it's got to be proven. I don't want to get shocks to the head from a device, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, it's working, it's working." Yeah, I tried those belts before; they don't work. So I had a belt like that. It was like my WWE belt for that, but because I'm penultimate athlete. So anyway, that pretty much does it for this episode of Wearable Today. Luke, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Luke Luca. It's LukeLuca. You can email me for the show at luke@wearabletoday.com, or you can find me over on Google+. I'm there hanging out and making posts about all sorts of random stuff at google.com/plus Luke Wallace.
Plus Luke Wallace. Did you like my shirt, by the way?
Yeah, I like that.
My brother made this shirt a long time ago. I like wearing it. It's an awesome shirt. And, you know, it's the ultimate wearable technology right here. I'm going to make a shirt like that someday. Ultimate wearable technology. So,
It's pretty nice.
yeah, thank you very much. You can find me over at Geekazine, like I said, or Jeff at wearabletoday.com. Feel free to email us or contact us in any way, and we'll get you on the show and go from there. So, all right, well, that does it for this episode number 74. The, what would we call it again? The
Red Ring.
System Error Contact Xbox Customer Support. We will be back next week. We don't have any plans next week, right?
I should be here.
No, I'll be here too. Let's see our upcoming schedule plans. We should have a couple. Actually, it should be going right through into July. We should not have any breaks or anything like that. So if you've got some news, let us know. If you want to be on the show, let us know. If you want to give us some money, just hit the buttons. Remember, wearabletoday.com/deals. And go from there. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. My name is Jeffrey Powers. You guys geek out. We'll see you next time on this episode and every episode of Wearable Today. Take care.